Rolling. Awesome. All right. Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for making time today to be with us for our program orientation for our OEB Leadership Accelerator program. We're so excited and so grateful to you for providing your support to this program. And let's see, with that, I think we'll go to the next slide. Raquel, would you share what we're going to be covering today?
Aloha, yes. Nice to meet everybody. That didn't transition over from our previous orientation, but my name is Raquel. I'm the program manager for cohort 3. And for the sponsors portion of the orientation, you're going to meet our program team. And then we're going to introduce you to other employee sponsors, help you get a better understanding of what the journey is ahead for the OLA leader that you supported and or sponsored to participate in the program. And then we're going to share some other ways that you can potentially engage or partner with us throughout the journey.
Great. Okay, so why don't we start by introducing our team? I think Alex, maybe we've met before. Nice to see you again. I know Tina, and I think we have a few other sponsors going to be joining us in a second. But I'm Ku'ulani Kiho Kalole. I'm one of the co-conspirators of creating this program 3 years ago. And we'll talk a little bit about the origin and kind of how this program got started. But the program is run under my business, People Strategies Hawaii, and yeah, I'm just really excited to support and grow these OEB leaders alongside you so that they can continue to build their capacity and the meaningful work that they do with all of you. And I think Elena is also on. So Elena, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure, Valina Mai, so aloha and Elena Farden. I'm one of the co-facilitators for the OLA program. So great to be here with all of you. And Alex, I think I saw you at the UH men's game. They played UC Irvine and number 0 made the final shot at the buzzer, 67-66. You were dancing in the stands, but happy to be here and also aloha to everyone as well.
Mahalo, Elena. Maile.
Aloha mai kako. I'm Maile Alao. I'm also one of the co-facilitators. This is my first year working in the OLA
Maile.
program. Oh, but I've been associated with it since the beginning. I got to participate in the very first Ho'ike. So I'm super excited to work with this amazing group of men and women. So my background is 20 plus years in nonprofits, and then I transitioned to doing organizational development, and been doing that for about the last 10 years. So it's really exciting to bring that Native Hawaiian lens of organizational development to this group of people. So I'm very excited to work with. I've known Ku'u for forever, so I'm really looking forward to working with our participants and this team.
Mahalo, Maile. Raquel.
Aloha, everybody. As mentioned earlier, my name is Raquel. I am the program manager for cohort 3. I am also a very proud alumni of the inaugural cohort, which is cohort 1. And I'm also currently the alumni network wrangler to get everybody moving and shaking and stay connected through different events. And I'm very proud to be here with you all today. And if you have any questions for me in terms of how an alumni that went through this process that had the support of her organization worked and your return on investment, I'm happy to answer any of those questions.
Thank you, Raquel. And we also are excited to introduce our executive coaches. I know one of them has another obligation right now, but Tiffany and Christy are here with us today. So let's start with you, Tiffany.
Sure. Aloha, everyone. I'm Tiffany Chang. I have the pleasure of being one of the co-founders of this program with Ku'u and Elena. And my role originally started as the executive coach. I went into the facilitator and program designer role for the last 2 cohorts. And for this cohort, I'm squarely playing the executive coach role. So I have just the pleasure and opportunity of getting to work with a handful of the participants this year. I understand the journey that they're going to be going on, and I really think it's a great way to just get connected and also experience transformation. It might sound a little I don't know, can that happen in 6 months? But from what we've seen in the last two cohorts, both the group work and the individual work is just this beautiful recipe for transformation and growth. So very excited to be a part of it.
Mahalo, Tiff. Christy.
Aloha, my name is Christy Valador. I will also be one of the coaches. So I am new to this program and I'm grateful to be here. I know Kulu and Tiff through our learning and development professional groups. So a little bit about myself. I oversee organizational development at Hawaii USA Federal Credit Union, and I'm also a coach. I have a coaching practice. So I'm looking forward to having the time and space with these leaders and to help them along in their journey wherever they feel they need help.
Mahalo, Christy. We're very excited. And then for the first time ever, we have Akane on our team. So just to balance out a lot of this Wahine energy. So we're really excited to have Jonathan with us as well. I don't think he is here yet, but he's also going to be a great support and has done executive coaching for a long time. So your folks are in really good hands of skilled people whose backgrounds are in adult learning, leadership development, coaching, etc. So it's not just a fun project for us. This is truly what we live and breathe. All right. So with that, I'm excited to kind of hear from you a little bit, if that's okay. Those of you who are going to be sponsoring participants in the program, we'd love to hear just your name, your organization, and role that you have, and who you're sponsoring, just so we can kind of put a face to a name, and then one hope that you have for them in this program. So Tina, I'm going to pick on you since you were here nice and early to go first.
That's the prize, huh, for being early. Mahalo ku'u. My name is Tina Portis Jones. I am with Parents and Children Together. We are a statewide organization. We oversee about 350 employees, and my role is Executive Vice President of Community Building Programs. That's a whole lot, a mouthful. It's basically anything to do with family strengthening, community building. The participant I am sponsoring is Kayla Kutaka. She is our program director on the island of Maui. I am super excited for her to be in this program. We do have one graduate, Kehao Goles, who raved about the program. So passing that along to other Kanaka and trying to really support leadership in their new role or in their continued role.
Thank you so much, Tina. Speaking of Maui, I see we have Dean Wong from Imua Family Services on Maui. So Dean, welcome. And if you could introduce yourself.
Thank you. Mahalo, everyone. So nice to meet all of you together in this one space. It's really incredible. So I am the CEO here at Imua Family Services here in Maui County, and we're really proud to have Kapua Chang, who works with us as our mission director and our grants specialist for our organization, participate in the leadership training. So really happy to support her in this process.
Thanks, Dean. Alex, you're up next.
Yes, thank you. Aloha, everyone. I'm Alex Harris. I'm the president of the Harold K.L. Castle Foundation. We're thrilled that our colleague Maria Quidez was selected to participate. Maria is in her third year, and any of you who have either worked with or inside of philanthropic organizations know that the way in which you exercise leadership in philanthropy is tricky and complicated. And I think having additional perspectives and coaching is something that she sought out, and we're thrilled to be able to support her with.
Awesome, mahalo. And last but not least, I see Brandon on here.
Hi, good afternoon. Brandon Kamigaki from Servco Pacific Inc., director at Servco Pacific Inc. Justin Nihei will be participating in this cohort, and we're very excited for him to participate. He recently stepped up into a new role of general sales manager, and usually that just deals with one dealership. But in his new role, he's actually a general sales manager of all 11 locations, and his role really has to deal with all locations and also GMs and the bosses of each location. So we really hope that he gets his. Well, I'm excited for him to spend time with a group of like-minded leaders and kind of to grow and step up into that type of leadership position to manage up and across organizations.
Thank you so much, Brandon, and thank you to all of you for your support, for your belief, and just being here and supporting your person. As you can tell, just even by the four of you, there's such a range of who's in the program. So we have a total of 15 participants in this cohort. And for the first time ever, we have a lot of guys, actually. It used to be very Wahine heavy, but we have, I think, 6 men in the program this year, and the rest are women. But we have a range of nonprofit, philanthropic, as you said, Alex, for-profit or corporate like Servco. We have government. We have one person who's a firefighter. We have school teachers. So really what binds us is our commitment to Hawaii and really leadership in a Hawaii way. So that's really the gel. But I mean, there's such a range. And then also one of the, I think, maybe misbeliefs about our program is that it's only for Native Hawaiians. It's actually not. So we have both a mix of Native Hawaiian and Kama'aina in the program. So that's beautiful as well, because there's a mix of perspectives there. So thank you again for supporting them and for being here. All right, so what we'd like to do is now go over some elements of the program. We know that you've probably read the website, you've read a lot of things, but we just want to make sure that we're all aligned and on the same page about what this is, what they've signed up for, what you are supporting. So just a little backstory. So a couple of years ago, you may have remembered this article that came out about we're at now 55, I think, % of Native Hawaiians who live outside of Hawaii, and so many locals as well have moved away. And when I saw that article, I mean, it just sunk deep in my gut, and I was like, what are we doing about this? And why is this happening? I mean, we know all the reasons, but in the space I'm in around leadership, it was like, okay, what is it that we're doing to make sure that our people not only can stay, but can lead in this place that is their homeland, right? And we see so many people kind of coming in from outside telling us what to do. And so we decided to think about what would it look like to create a program that could really become potentially a pipeline for employers to look for local talent that is developed, that is, kind of grounded in Hawaii's values, and poised for these leadership roles. And so that's where we came up with this idea of a leadership program. We looked at all kinds of other programs. We looked at Patsy Mink, we looked at Pacific Century, we looked at, Omidyar, we looked at Stanford, we looked at other fellowship programs, and we kind of picked and chose what we thought were the best pieces, really understanding that if you want to lead in Hawaii, there's so much of our richness of our values here that need to underground kind of what the way you're moving and thinking and being in the world. And so that's kind of the premise of our program is, yes, it's leadership. It is about kind of leading in maybe more Western traditional spaces, and it's about doing so in a way that honors our values and our heritage here in Hawaii. So we can move to the next slide. And so early on, it was really serendipitous that KS was also kind of going through this process of offering external community partnership grants for those who are working in this OEV leadership space. And so they created the Kaiulu program to support programs like these and invited us to apply for this pilot kind of funding. And so that's how we actually turned an idea into a program. I will just kind of caveat this, where we're not a nonprofit. We're not, so it's very tough for us to seek outside funding because we don't have that status. I'm working on that, but in the meantime, it is a program underneath my small business. Okay, and then some of our goals. So we do, as I said, we want to elevate Hawaii's local talent. We want people to know that, we have great leaders right here. We don't need to look outside for these roles. We have people here. We want to increase the representation of Native Hawaiians and Kama'aina leaders in workplaces. We want to fuse both traditional and Western knowledge and illustrate and instill Hawaiian values in the way that we work. So every session or experience they have, we say this is not gonna, you're not gonna walk out of here a cultural practitioner. Like, that's not our goal. Our goal is to ground us in culture as we think about aspects like innovation, as we think about aspects like conflict resolution or facilitation or whatever these skills are that we need in the workplace, but doing so from a Hawaiian lens. I know I'm kind of talking fast, so please just stop me at any time. I'm not going to read this slide to you, but what I will say is that we do track the impact. We do evaluate the impact. So we have a pre and post survey that we do with all of our participants, as well as interviewing them and getting anecdotal quotes from them and their employers. So just know we might be reaching out to you probably midway through the program to ask what you're seeing. But we have seen 100% of our participants. So we've had 2 cohorts now. So we've had 40 people come through, grow in their pride as OEV leaders, and 80% grow in their sense of leadership identity and who they are, and improving overall. So these are the kinds of things that we measure. We know that there's lots of programs out there that teach specific skills, like here's how to read a balance sheet, here's how to put together a business plan. That's not this program. This program is truly about grounding them in really a transformative process so that they themselves walk out a more confident and grounded leader. I just want to pause there, just kind of around the origin and the why of this program, and see if there's any questions that you have there before we kind of go into the nuts and bolts of it. Great. Okay. So actually, before we go into nuts and bolts, I do want to share, we have a brief video from our last cohort that kind of just, I think, says it better than I can. And you'll get to hear from actually one of our sponsors, Ryan Kusumoto, who's also with Parents and Children Together. You'll kind of hear from him about why he supports the program. Raquel, I think the audio might be down on the Zoom.
Kalamai, can I hear the video?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Okay, let's see.
You stop sharing, and then when you share, you choose audio too, and then we can play it. Sorry, quick commercial break.
Okay.
Let me know. If not, I can play it on my end.
Yes, unfortunately, Zoom is asking me to install additional software.
Oh, okay. So I will get that up here in a second. I'm very proud of this this video that we had. And go ahead and just share make sure we have the sound turned on. Let me see. Can everyone see this okay? Can you see this okay, Raquel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear it okay? We started the OEV Leadership Accelerator program because we saw a need for Hawaii's organizations to be led by Hawaii's people. We know that when we lead in the most authentic way, we're really grounded in our values. We are relational, we are community oriented and people focused. And that's something that makes us really unique here in Hawaii. while we hope that, Hawaii's leaders are being invested in intentionally, we find that doesn't always happen. And so either it's through feeling, not confident, or a sense of imposter syndrome, or just not seeing the path and the opportunity. We really wanted to address that by creating a clear path and one that was grounded in our values and who we are as a people.
I serve in many respects, I would say, as a grant maker. And I'm pretty new. I started about 6 months ago. So it felt really kind of serendipitous that Ku'u and Elena and Tiff were launching the second cohort right as I was kind of starting in this new role. I recently moved back from the mainland to Hawaii too. So it was like all of these things kind of converging at once. I was like, I have to take advantage of this opportunity.
Over the course of 6 months, we have leaders gathering once a month, either at a special place on Aina where we are learning from the land and we're putting our hands makahana ka'ike and actually grounding ourselves in the lo'i or on a va'a. So leaders have a chance to get to know each other in a cohort format over these 6 months. They also engage with each other as peer learning partners, reflecting and learning in between sessions. And then what's really unique and valuable about this program is we provide executive coaching. Executive coaching is a new thing that for many is a very transformative experience as they learn more about themselves and cohorts.
My coaching sessions, they've been really transformative for me. The overall thread, I think, is a lot of internal discovery, a lot of realizing that I don't need to wait for others to give me permission, that actually I need to give myself permission and see myself.
This exercise where we had to role play, we had to basically be ourselves in that situation. I was able to feel that energy shift of this is who I am, this is how I need to be to get myself into these places that I want to be at.
So I think there's a lot of remembering for me in terms of the importance of our pilina, building our relationships. The power really comes from the people, the pilina. That Kona Ike Hawaii is really, the world needs us to be exactly who we are.
One of the sessions that we had, we actually brought in Kuha Ozain to do a teaching about what is your 8th-generation plan. So it makes me think about what are the decisions I'm making today that will have a tangible effect on the 8th generation that comes after me.
The importance of rooting yourself in your genealogy, the importance of knowing your own story and owning that story has been what's been coming through. The launa, the wala'au, the connections, the strengthening of the leaders together to collaborate and leverage those connections, right? To strengthen the whole hui together, I think is something just magical, right? I feel like you're building lifelong friendships and people who are in the va'a with you doing the good work. A huge part of our journey in this OEV Leadership Accelerator has been introspective, really reflecting on who you are and the leader you want to become.
I think about all these leadership programs that I've been a part of, and they're good. They teach you tactics about how to be a better leader. Great leaders are not because they mastered some technique. They're really because they have lived into those values of humility, of compassion, of respect. And that all comes from the place that we are. And that's grounded here in Hawaii. That this land has taught us that it's important to care for one another. It's taught us to be humble. And it's taught us that we all come to the table with gifts. And it's our job to find out how best to rise up those gifts. And that's, again, what I really appreciate about a program like this, that it starts with those values, because that's what I think leaders need here in Hawaii.
So how would you describe your experience to someone out of Luau?
Wow. Sorry, there's an outtake.
Oh, this is really great.
Okay. So I hope that gave you a better sense rather than us just talking about it, what happens in our program. Okay, so let's go through some of the nuts and bolts of what to expect or we've gone on this in detail with your folks, but of course, we're just going to give you a high level understanding. So your participants will be involved with us in person once a month. So 1 day a month, they will be here in person. All of our sessions are on Oahu. We would love to come to Maui at some point. But right now, all of them are on Oahu on different sites on Aina. They're either led by cultural practitioners or we facilitate and we bring the cultural practitioners in. Each session, they're learning a different topic and kind of engaging in a different cultural practice. So for example, they might be in the lo'i in one session. In another session, they might be using traditional art methods to create art. And so on and so forth. So in our first session, for example, next week, we're going to actually be on a va'a and get the experience of steering a canoe. And what does that mean? What does that, thinking about wayfinding, not just literally, but also metaphorically, what does that mean for our own leadership compass and who we are as people? So it's pretty exciting. In each session, they will be introduced to guest speakers who are OEV leaders. And these are people who range from legislators to cultural practitioners to, C-suite executives, INA leaders. We've really chosen a variety because we want them to see that OEV leadership comes in all shapes and sizes, but again, aligned around a commitment to Hawaii and Hawaii's values. And then we have something called peer learning partners. So because we have 15 people, they've been put into triads where they and their partners will meet once a month on their own schedule to connect, to digest what they're learning, to understand how each other is applying it, right? So someone at HCF, or excuse me, Hawaii, sorry, Harold K.L. Castle Foundation might be applying a learning different than someone at Servco or someone at PACT or someone at Imua Family Services. And so we want them to get that mix of learning and experiences across. They'll also be paired with a one-on-one coach. So that person will help them to dive specifically into the issues or topics that they want to explore for themselves. They will be creating a leadership portfolio that is a summary of what they've learned and their understanding of their own leadership identity and also their path forward. So that's something tangible that you'll be able to see at the end of the program. And then again, there will be a ho'ike in June where they will be presenting some of the snippets of what they've learned throughout the program. So that's a lot. That's what we'll be doing with them for the next 6 months. Okay. I don't think we need to go over this in detail, Raquel, but those are they have six sessions with different topics. Again, this is kind of a snapshot of the kinds of leaders. Oh, sorry. I'm going too fast. Sorry. A snapshot of the kinds of leaders that they will meet, just 6 of many, many, many that they'll meet throughout the program. We mentioned the peer learning partners that they schedule on their own time. We mentioned the coaching. So they're afforded 4 coaching sessions throughout the program. It is on them to take advantage of that. And, sometimes folks get busy and they're not able to take advantage of it. I don't know about you, but sometimes organizations don't have the budget to afford coaches for every single staff member. So as much as you can, I would encourage them to take advantage of that one-on-one coaching offer. And then, as I mentioned, they will be creating a leadership portfolio that they'll share with you at the end. And then we have our ho'ike, which is on June 17th. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead one. Yeah, June 17th. So please save the date for our ho'ike. I want to share what we're asking of you and why we asked you to be here today and kind of what we're hoping your role is. So sometimes, as you know, if you haven't had a great supportive boss, sometimes you get questioned, well, why are you spending so much time in this program? You got more important things to do. Do you really need to go this Friday? Can you cancel? And so we're asking you, because you've made an investment in them, to really help to support and protect that time. because that's truly how they get the most out of this. So ensuring that, they're able to fully attend. We've asked them on the days that we're in person to really block the full day. So not squeezing in a Zoom call, not trying to run off during lunch. And because again, it's all the downtime, it's all that kind of water cooler time where they're really building Pilina. So we're asking you to really kind of help them protect that time that they're only away 6 days. So just kind of help protect that time for them. Encourage the reflection, encourage them to share back what they're learning with the rest of you. We're hoping that they're doing that anyway, but please encourage them to share that back, and then help them to also reinforce, or help us to also reinforce the kuleana that they have to take their learnings back to your workplace and to the community. So that's really the support you can provide. When it comes to the coaching, sometimes supervisors ask us, can I know what they're talking about in coaching? Can I get a summary of what their coaching conversations are? And unfortunately, no, that's not how we run coaching. So that part, we say leave the coaching to the coaches, but really this is the way that as an employer and a sponsor, you can support them in other ways. Okay, and I think one more, of course, meaningful way that you can support them is to come to our ho'ike. Oh, yeah, so it is Wednesday, June 17th in the evening. More information to come about location and all of that. As I mentioned, we're not a 501c3, so we really rely on tuition and what we can do to cover our hard costs that we have for this program. As you can imagine, it's a pretty expensive program to run. So we do sell tables and tickets for our ho'ike, which just goes right back into running this program itself. And I think that brings us to the end of the information we had to share with you. Now we just like to open it up to any questions you might have for us. Questions, outbursts.
I'm curious. I mean, you had a very good list of ways in which we can be supporting and encouraging from the sidelines. Should we be thinking about creating sort of stretch opportunities for growth in the workplace setting that they can sort of apply some of the things and ideas that they've been talking about?
Yes. Oh my God, I just got goosebumps when you asked that. Yes, absolutely. So I'll keep it no secret that our hope is that, when your participants are graduating from this program, you're really seeing them as they've spent 6 months developing themselves and growing their capacity. They now have more under their belt to contribute back. So after, but of course during, if you see opportunities, absolutely, please, I think that's a wonderful way for folks to be immediately applying what it is they're learning. And I will say, and I think Tina, you can attest to this. We have participants who've like Kehal, who've gone through our program, and after they are done, they get promoted into new roles. We see them start to raise their hand for nonprofit board positions. That's something else maybe Dean or Tina, you can be thinking about, is like potential board members you can tap into from the program. But absolutely, that's like number one is we don't want this to just sort of be a great experience and they get to kind of put it away, but we want them to really have this be a springboard, if possible, into other opportunities.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Great question. Tina or Dean, any questions, concerns, heartburn, excitement that you want to share?
I'm just really super excited. I do want to mention Kayla has recently been promoted. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for her to step into this type of coaching and fellowship and really getting some ike from her peers. And, I do love that it's a mixture and not, we're living in a nonprofit bubble. So I love that she's going to get the lens of other folks who might have the same challenges or similar experiences, and they can talk about solutions. And so it's to me, I'm so excited for her. I wish I had this when I was younger. I mean, if I wasn't so close to retirement, then maybe I would, I don't know. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? I don't know.
but I was fortunate to be raised at PAC, so my values are very strong. And that's the other thing, is that the values for this program is so in alignment with how we do things at PAC. So I think it helps to flourish and blossom and grow our leaders. And I'm super appreciative of this program, Ku'u. Thank you for you and the co-founders for starting it. Really appreciate it.
Mahalo, Tina.
Hey, cool. Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan, one of the coaches. I think it's Tina. I love that you're close to retirement. Maybe we can reframe this. Knowing what I know of Ku'u and Elena and how they work, you also have a lot to give, and that's just as important for this to work too. So just keep that open mind about that, for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. Dean, I saw you come off mute.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I mean, I don't really have a lot to add. I think you've done a great job of covering the framework of the program. I have so much confidence and so much respect and so much trust and admiration for Kapua here in our organization. I don't know if you noticed, but I told you her title is called Mission Director. And that is something that we created internally in this organization because everything starts with our mission. Every step forward, everything that we do, every response to COVID, fires, whatever the situation is, administrations has to start with, well, what is our mission? What is our directive? What is our guiding star? And I, very early on in working with Kapua, saw the opportunity within her to be the person that leads us towards our guiding star, right? And people might think, well, that's your job. You're the CEO. I have lots of jobs that I can do, but it's important for us to have someone within our organization that is seeing the vision of this organization grow from the framework of how we are responsible to Hawaii, right? And so like I said, I already have the trust, the support and admiration for someone like Kapua in that role. And so I just really hope that I know that this will just give her more support in that framework to do that and to see, what she already brings to the table and into that framework and what she can offer to everyone else. It's just a remarkable opportunity. I'm glad that we get to support her in this framework.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And I can already see what you're talking about with your, Kapua and the folks that you folks are sponsoring. I just want you to know that we had dozens of people apply for this program, and usually this is only our third year, but we usually have about 40 to 50 people apply each time. And in the past, we've taken 20 each, and then we kind of realized, we want a more close-knit connection. So we only took 15 this year. They had to write essays, they had to list references, they had to interview with us. So know that, the 15 we chose are really the people we think very highly of, and we're so excited for this cohort. So we're excited to see more of them and kind of learn alongside them and go on this journey with them. But yeah, we chose the best of the best. Okay, so with that, I think, Raquel, do we have like one more slide, I think? Oh, okay. Just that we're ready for this journey with you. These are the capable folks who are going to be holding space for your folks throughout the 6 months. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you're ever just curious, you want to check in. We're here for you. I think on the next slide, we have our email address, but you should also have it at this point too. So it's just info@OEB Leadership Accelerator. We would love for you to just stay kind of in tune with what's happening. And as you see fit, if there are opportunities to also kind of spread the word about what we're doing, we appreciate that. We will be promoting the program throughout on social media. So we'll be sharing videos of what's happening. We'll be interviewing your people. So they'll be getting shout outs on our social media. So we'd love for you to kind of reshare that. And then of course, with our ho'ikes, being there, supporting them as well. With that, I think I want to allow you folks the rest of your Friday back, and just mahalo you for being here, and yeah, thank you for being part of this journey with us.
Thank you for
So
sharing.
the whole team. Take care.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.